This is a 6060 and this is a 6060. So what's the difference between the M and the L6060? Hey guys, Zach here from Kubota Lynchburg, and today I wanted to go over the differences between the L6060 and the M6060. This was a video requested by somebody that's been watching one, and they wanted to know about a 60 horsepower cab tractor. And of course, we have two options on that, this L6060 and the M6060. Looking from the camera point of view, the first thing you can notice is the M series is bigger. And there's a lot of differences between these two models. Honestly, they're almost two totally different customer or market base for these models. And we'll go over a lot of the different small features that would make you choose one versus the other. Size is one of those. So if we start with the basics, they're both a 60 horsepower tractor. So their engine is 60 horsepower. The PTO has a little bit difference in the horsepower. So this one only has 53 at the PTO, at the rear PTO, while this one has 56 PTO horsepower. The reason being the hydrostat transmission on this one, which we'll talk about in a second, takes and draws more power off the engine and off the drivetrain than the standard gear drive version. So overall, engine is the same, but PTO, this is a little bit more powerful. And then the other thing when we're talking about size, it's not just engine horsepower size, but it's actual physical tractor weight. This is over 1,000 pounds heavier. So I don't know the exact weight with tractor and loader, and it's going to depend on your tires and if you have fluid in your tires and everything. But let's just ballpark that this one with a loader is going to be 6,000 pounds. This one is going to be pushing a little over 7,000 pounds, maybe even more depending on which tire options you choose, because this one has cast rims and tires on the back, which add a ton more weight. So now you're talking closer to an 8,000 pound machine. So big difference in weight for whether hauling it around or pulling attachments. Some other dimension talk. Realistically, the length and the width are all pretty similar. This one's slightly larger. You can also see it's slightly taller because it has a little bit more spacious cab to it. But at the same time, the dimensions are pretty similar. They're within a couple inches of ground clearance on each other, so not huge differences on ground clearance. But we're going to talk about the next most important thing, which is going to be the transmission. Two totally different transmissions, and this is really what sets the two apart, is the Grand L series is the most deluxe hydrostatic transmission you can get. You cannot get this in what's called a shuttle shift or a gear drive. You only have the hydrostat, which is your forward and reverse pedal on the floor. There's no shifting, there's no clutching, there's no ranges. It's a 6-range hydrostat transmission that has a ton of customizability, a ton of use, a ton of operator features to it, like stall guard, and let's see, there's auto throttle at advance. I have a whole nother video on what about the Grand L that goes through all the features of this tractor. But if you're a farmer or going to be somebody who's going to be using this for pulling a ton of implements like a bush hog or a tiller or hay equipment, you want a gear drive transmission. You want that simple, put it in first, second, third range and let off the pedal and go with it. You're gonna get more power, you're gonna get more consistency. You don't have to keep your pedal on a hydrostat pedal or your foot on a hydrostat pedal. You just put it in gear, let off and roll through the fields. This is more of a farmer tractor. Could be a hobby farmer, doesn't have to be a real full-time farmer, but a hobby farmer is fine. But somebody who's run tractors before, somebody who needs a piece of heavy equipment to run that heavier attachments, those hay attachments or those dirt engaging attachments, where the Grand L series with the hydrostat transmission and all the fancy comfort features that come with the Grand L is more of a small property homeowner, wants to have fun and wants to be very comfortable. Maybe the wife wants to go use it. I actually have a couple of customers who have Grand L 6060s, and their wife can use it and their kids can use it because it's so easy and so comfortable to use. So that's the main difference between these two. We'll talk about some of the other features. You've got your loaders, of course. They're both 72-inch buckets, but this loader will pick up a couple 100 pounds more. You can see your actual arms and cylinders are a little bit beefier to it, so you can pick up a little bit more weight than the loader on the Grand L. You also have some different pin positions on this, where on the standard M60 series has 2 pins, so you can actually switch this to get either more lift height or more lift capacity, whichever one is your priority. The Grand L is just simple standard loader on it. Easy to use, no customization or anything like that because it's a homeowner that's going to be using it, or a small property owner. You can see the tire size is massive between the two. Now you can choose different tires on this one, but for a 60 horsepower tractor, that's a big difference in tires. But again, you got a farm grade using in field, through the creeks, through the mud, farm grade tractor versus around the property and maintenance, and you just have different tire options. As we go back here, you can see again the tires a little bit bigger on the back, and this have the cast rims, and you have different tire options, but the cast is really nice. It's not even an option on this one for that extra weight for picking up things like round bales, or having that extra weight on the back end for pulling attachments. We'll come look at the back of the tractors now. They are both deluxe 3-point hitches. We'll start with the Grand L. And they don't have that much more lift capacity. I think this one has 300 pounds less lift capacity than the M series, but you have deluxe features like telescoping lower arms, telescoping stabilizer arms, nice PTO covers and easy access to your drawbar to it, but it's a slightly smaller axle, smaller transmission housing and everything like that because it's a homeowner version. I still consider this a compact or utility tractor, where this is full farm grade. Your warranty is different between the two as well. So if we're thinking about a farm tractor that's going to get 500, 1,000 hours a year on it, this only comes with a 3-year warranty. A 2-year fender to fender, 3-year powertrain, where this, all right, might be getting 100, 200, 300 hours a year on it. Kubota puts a full 6-year powertrain warranty on it because they don't expect it to have as much heavy use or as many hours put on it. But you can see this 3-point hitch is a little bit larger. It's a little bit beefier. You actually have slightly larger drawbar on it for running those heavier implements and attachments, but you still have a lot of the nice features. One of the things you're going to notice on the back of this tractor is rear hydraulic remotes. All M series come standard with at least one set of rear remotes. Now we've added a second set for this one, but at least standard one set of rear hydraulics. That is not standard on anything smaller than the M series. So that Grand L, that's an option you have to choose and have your dealership put on for you. But you got rear remotes because most people are using hydraulic attachments on the rear, like rakes or mower conditioners or sickle bars or anything like that to it. On the back, very similar as far as cabs go. You know, it's a cab. It's got air conditioning, heat, those kind of things. They're both very comfortable on the inside. We'll take a look on the inside real quick, but they're both spacious, roomy, very comfortable cabs. This one, you hop in, and if you look in here, you've got your shifting. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You've got your shuttle shift transmission, forward and reverse right here. And you have your clutch for clutching between your gears and clutching between forward and reverse if you need to. And you have loader controls. You have a tilt steering column, you've got your hydraulic remotes, and you have a nice suspension seat. So it's a very comfortable, very open station on this one. But we're going to find the same thing, just different layout on controls in the Grand L series. So if you're looking for a comfortable tractor, either of these is going to be perfectly fine for you. So we'll go take a look at the Grand L real quick, show you guys the differences in the cabs. I personally think the Grand L cab is a little bit more comfortable to it. Even though it's slightly smaller, I kind of like the seat and everything a little bit better. Doesn't have quite as much foot room in here, but the seat is a little bit more adjustable in my opinion, and it has a little bit nicer suspension system to it, and you just feel like you're a little bit more, the tractor's a little closer to you, which I actually kind of like. It's a little easier to control in my opinion. But you still have all the nice features of air condition and heat. Your loader handle on this one is a little bit more deluxe. Again, you get a very deluxe tractor for those specific applications. So why would you choose one versus the other if I haven't already answered that for you? If you are somebody who wants something comfortable, something easy to use, something a little bit lighter so it's not ripping up the grass, something with a hydrostat transmission, you need to go with the L6060, and you're going to get a ton of deluxe, fancy, nice, comfortable features with it. If you're looking for something that's going to be extremely long-lasting, extremely durable, heavy-duty workhorse with more power, more weight, more capabilities, and maybe the extra hydraulics are nice from the factory, that M6060 is going to be the way to go. So if you got tons of projects lined up, ground-engaging tools, hay equipment you're going to be running, don't even bother looking at the Grand L6060. Take a look at that M6060. If I had to choose one and I had 20, 30 acres and not a ton of heavy-duty work, though, I'd take the Hydrostat Grand L all day long. But that heavy work, might take a look at the M6060. So that's your main differences. If you have specific questions, something else I want to touch on is fuel capacity. If you're running in a field all day, every day, this thing has 23 gallons of fuel capacity, whereas this one has 13. Again, homeowner version, you're not going to be running it 10, 12, 14, 16 hours during the season at a time. That M6060 has a much higher fuel capacity to it, so something to keep in mind. But leave us a comment if you have any questions and let us know.